I shouldn't have checked my bank account in the middle of my engagement dinner. If I hadn't, none of this would have happened. No screaming, no silence, no lawsuit. The restaurant was warm, expensive, perfectly lit. My fiancée was glowing. My parents were proud. Her family had flown in just for this night, and my brother was giving a toast. I barely heard the first part of it, because my phone vibrated. I don't usually check notifications during important moments, but something about the timing felt wrong. It wasn't a text. It wasn't social media. It was a banking alert. At first, I smiled. I assumed it was a small charge, maybe the venue processing something. Then I saw the number, and my stomach dropped. A transfer. Completed. Not pending. Not processing. Completed. A large amount. Large enough that I felt my heartbeat in my throat. I told myself to breathe. There had to be an explanation. Maybe I scheduled something months ago. Maybe I forgot. But when I opened the details, the name attached to the transfer wasn't a company. It wasn't a vendor. It wasn't fraud. It was my brother. And that's when I looked up. He was already staring at me, still holding the microphone, still smiling, like he knew. I didn't react. Not immediately, because we were in the middle of a toast. My fiancée was laughing at something he had just said. Everyone had their phones out. It was supposed to be sentimental. Instead, I was rereading the transaction. The amount was almost everything I had moved into our joint wedding fund. Savings, deposits, future payments. Gone. Transferred to an account I didn't recognize. But the sender authorization was mine. Or at least, it looked like mine. That's when I remembered. 3 weeks earlier, my brother had insisted on helping me restructure some investments. He works in finance. He always makes sure to remind everyone of that. He told me I was being careless. He told me I should let him manage things properly. I gave him temporary access to review some accounts. Temporary. Review. Not control. Not transfer. Not drain. I felt heat crawl up my neck. Across the table, he raised his glass higher. And to my little brother, he said into the microphone, smiling wide, who finally found someone patient enough to marry him. Everyone laughed. I didn't, because I was staring at the authorization timestamp. It matched tonight. 8 minutes ago, while he was standing there giving a toast, which meant one thing. He didn't just take the money. He wanted me to see it. I could have waited. I should have waited. That's what everyone later told me. But when you realize someone just emptied your savings during your own engagement dinner, logic doesn't exactly win. I stood up. Slowly. My fiancée squeezed my hand, confused. You okay? I nodded. But my eyes never left my brother. He finished his toast and handed the mic back to the server. That's when I made the decision that split my family in half. I walked toward him. Not fast, not aggressive. Calm. I leaned in and asked quietly, "Why did you just transfer my money?" His smile didn't fade. It changed. Just slightly. He whispered back, "Relax, it's temporary." Temporary. In what world does someone move nearly your entire wedding fund and call it temporary? I asked him to reverse it. Right there. He laughed, actually laughed, and said, "Not in front of everyone." That's when I realized this wasn't about helping me. It was about control and humiliation. So I turned around, and I picked up the microphone. The room went quiet instantly. I wasn't planning a speech, but I wasn't planning on being robbed either. "I just received a bank alert," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. It looks like someone transferred almost all of our wedding savings. You could hear forks hit plates. My fiancée looked at me like she didn't understand. My brother didn't move. I continued. And the account that authorized it belongs to someone in this room. Every eye shifted. He finally stepped forward. Don't do this. But it was already happening. I showed him my phone. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I just read the numbers out loud. The timestamp, the amount, the name. Silence. My mother stood up first. What is he talking about? My brother tried to frame it as a misunderstanding. Said he was protecting the funds. Said he noticed irregularities. Said he was moving it into a safer vehicle. Without telling me. Without permission. On the night of my engagement dinner. In front of both families. And when I asked him one simple question, where is it? He couldn't answer clearly. That's when I knew something was very wrong. The next morning, the money wasn't back. Not partially, not pending. Gone. And the account it had been transferred to was under a shell investment company, registered under his firm. That's when it stopped being a family issue. It became fraud. I sent one message. Reverse it by 5 p.m. or I'm contacting an attorney. He responded 3 hours later, not with a transfer, with a warning. If you escalate this, you'll regret it. That was enough for me. I hired a lawyer, and what we discovered made that dinner look small. He hadn't just moved the money. He had altered authorization permissions weeks earlier. Slowly, quietly, preparing. Which meant the transfer wasn't impulsive. It was planned. The lawsuit wasn't emotional. It was surgical. Account tracing, digital signatures, audit trails. My lawyer explained that because he used professional credentials, this wasn't just civil liability. It bordered on criminal misconduct. When he received the formal notice, he called me immediately. He wasn't laughing anymore. He said I was overreacting, that I was destroying the family, that this would follow him forever. I told him something simple. You destroyed it the moment you pressed transfer. 2 weeks later, the funds were frozen. 3 weeks later, partially recovered. And 1 month later, he agreed to settle. Full repayment, plus damages. But here's the part that still divides everyone. I didn't drop the case entirely. I wanted it on record. My parents haven't spoken to me properly since. They think I embarrassed him publicly. They think I could have handled it privately. My fiancée stands by me. The wedding is still happening, but half the chairs on his side will be empty. So now I'm being told I ruined my own engagement dinner, that I humiliated my brother, that I chose money over family. But here's what I keep thinking about. He chose money over family first, so AITA